Well, well, well. How's it going? Beautiful day in SoCal. You know, today I wanted to talk about how we need to protect our children from predators and you know, how precious they are and how we need to ask questions when they go to school and come back. When they go to school, they are out of our care for however long. But, you know, when I went to lunch today, I saw some disturbing news about a Marine running up into a bar in Thousand Oaks and killing 12 people with a pistol, a semi-automatic pistol. Um, Today is November 8th, 2018, and this occurs one day after the Democrats take the House and Governor Newsom is elected governor of the state of California. Now, if you know anything about Governor Newsom, he has initiated several ridiculous gun control laws that literally make no sense, right? Um, and some of these bills, Governor Brown had to go and veto because it was an overreach. But now we have a Marine killing 12 people with a pistol, and I don't know what's going to come now because after the after New Year's, the day after New Year's, your boy takes over, and what he's going to have is legislate. What are the legislators going to send up to him? Because he's going to sign any gun control legislation that comes in front of him that is restrictive. So now we have a Marine running around killing people for no reason. I don't know. Is there a good reason to run up into a bar and kill 12 people? If you're a veteran, the whole PTSD thing can really have you doing things that you wouldn't normally do. It's post traumatic stress disorder is very real, but it doesn't only happen with veterans. Veterans are not the only people who get PTSD, but now we have a Marine killing people with pistols. So now the whole thing is, okay, this guy committed mass murder with just a pistol. So we need to do something about that. Now, these 12 deaths are tragedies, but every time something like this happens, I have to question it because there's always some fishy shit going on. There's always some things that don't add up, you know. But it's a tragedy. Things like this are a tragedy, whether whatever the reason it happened. So if it's a conspiracy, right, and it happened, and somebody had an agenda to disarm the people, is no less a tragedy than if he was actually out of his freaking mind and wanted to kill a bunch of people. He wanted to kill a bunch of people. It's a tragedy regardless. But it's even more of a tragedy if this shit is a false flag. Now let's understand what a false flag is. A false flag is not necessarily mean that it's a um, staged. Well, doesn't mean that people didn't actually die. It just means that the reason they're giving for these deaths to the public are not actually what it is, or it's not the real reason behind it. So that's what a false flag is. It's not a hoax. That's the word I was looking for. A false flag does not mean that it's a hoax. That means that whatever tragedy occurred was done under the guise of something that they put out to the public, like Marine and killed 12 people in a bar. And now, if that wasn't true, and it was actually because there is an agenda to disarm the people so that the government can better have control over the people and do whatever they want, and thus begin the state of tyranny in this country, already beyond what it already is, right? Let's say that. Let's say that's the real reason this happened. And this guy, you know, he was on a mission, or he was under what they would call MK Ultra, and was triggered to do it, you know, via a handler. Let's say that. Regardless of what the reason is, they're going to run with this. They always do that in California. They're going to run with it. Let's talk about the shooting in San Bernardino, where initially reports from witnesses stated that there were 3 white men in military garb that ran up in the place with weapons and started shooting people at this clinic or the hospice or whatever it was, a mental health facility. Um, but then they turn around the next day and it's a completely different story. It's now all of a sudden it's a couple who ran up in there and did this, the Islamic couple. Well, what happened with the 2 or the 3 white men in military gear running away from the place with weapons after they ran about the place after it was shot up? Same thing in Vegas. You know, on that night in Vegas, and I saw video and I heard witnesses talk about there being a shooter on the ground level at the concert in Vegas, someone on the 4th floor shooting out of a window, and on the 32nd floor as well, shooting out of a window. And then not only that, there were shootings all over the strip in several other spots, several different locations. There were shootings, according to witnesses, and according to actual, dispatch calls from witnesses telling the dispatcher where these things are occurring, and people talking about it. Like just go back and look at it, do the research. So what happened to all that? What happened to the young woman that said that she knew for sure there were 2 shooters at least being found dead in her apartment about 2 or 3 weeks after she said this? What about Parkland, where several witnesses stated that this kid, Nicholas Cruz, was seen with a group of kids trying to escape as gunshots were going off at a different part of the building, like down the hall. But Nicholas Cruz is with you guys. Nicholas Cruz is supposed to be the shooter, but he's hanging out with you guys trying to get out of there, and there's still shooting going on at a different part of the school. What about the Pulse shooting in Florida, the gay bar? The shooting is going on. There's shooting going on in the front of the club, and people are trying to escape out the back, but someone is holding the door shut, keeping them inside. door is unlocked you unlock the door from the inside and go out, but someone literally is blocking the door. They can't get the door open. All of a sudden, they can't get this door open while the shooting is going on. Shit like this is what makes all these accounts, these official accounts, just sound dubious. Look up the word dubious. Okay, I'm about to tell you what it is. I don't even know if I'm using it in the right context. Anyway, I'm out of California, man. I'm leaving Cali. Period. I'm leaving Cali. I got to, man, because every time something happens, here comes some new shit. Next thing you know, they're going to want to ban semi-automatic pistols. You won't be able to buy a pistol that you can fire on semi-auto or any gun. How about that? Is that what's coming? No firearm that you can fire at semi-auto will you be able to have in California. Is that what's next? I don't know, but I can see it. I wouldn't be surprised. And with this cat, Governor Nuisance, coming into the office, the big mansion in Sac, I wouldn't be surprised if this motherfucker said all you can have are revolvers and muzzle-loaded shotguns. I don't know. You can't muzzle-load a shotgun, but whatever. You can have a muzzle-loader and a and a wheel gun. Is that what's next? I don't know, man. Don't be surprised, California. Don't be surprised. There's too many of us that fall for the okey doke and are quick to make knee-jerk reactions to tragedies such as this. You know, how is it? Why is it that we never heard anything, or I haven't heard much regarding the synagogue shootings? Why? Where is the gun control rhetoric regarding the synagogue shootings? Let me tell you something about them. All right. Let me tell you the difference between black folks and the Jews, the Israel, Hebrews, the Jews. Let me tell you the difference between those people and us. Dylan Roof ran up in a church and killed 9 people, right? And they got him they got him a hamburger from Burger King on the way to jail, and a milkshake, and some fries to dip his milkshake in, or to dip into the milkshake. And they probably gave him a hot rock massage, whatever you call them thing, a lava rock massage, right? And clipped his toenails. I don't know what the hell they did for this kid other than get him a hamburger. And what do black people do? Hmm? Particularly the black folks that belong to that church and whose families were involved in the shooting. The victim's family. What did they do? They forgave the cat, and you got all these people hollering about gun control, and you got this white supremacist kid with a black best friend defending this cat. Oh, he's not racist. But what about all the pictures that have been up for months and months and months that this guy has been posting, and all this talking about doing whatever to black folk? What's up with all that? But we want to forgive and act like we don't need to do something to protect ourselves, right? Let's forgive them and let's implement more gun control, right? Because Lord knows a criminal is gonna, or criminals are gonna obey those laws for sure, right? They're not going to want, they're not going to see that law-abiding citizens are giving their shit up, they're not going to see that and say, "Oh man, these cats. Oh man, we can do what we got to do now. We can run up in their house. We ain't worry about getting shot. You know what I'm saying? We can run up in there with our fully automatic weapons. We can throw a grenade in that piece because guess what? We get access to grenades, grenade launchers. I'm talking about in the criminal's mind, not me. I don't got none of that shit. But we don't want to be able to protect ourselves, right? We don't want shit for ourselves. Back up. I ain't got no followers. No one is viewing my video right now, so I have no idea. So we got what do we do after Dylan Roof ran up in that church? Like I said, we forgave him and we called for more gun control. But what did the Jews do after that? After the synagogue shooting, they put up armed guards at their synagogues and dared a motherfucker to run up in there and do some shit like that again. Armed guards. They didn't forgive. They didn't call for gun control. They said, "Look, gun control. That's we're not gonna be able to protect ourselves if we do that." So now they have armed guards in their synagogues. They said, "Let's get this. We ain't fucking around with y'all. We ain't messing around. No, no, nope." So that's what they did. I dare a person to try to run up in that synagogue and do some shit like that again. That's how you react to something like that. Because gun control is not going to guarantee your safety. And I'm tired of hearing people talking about, oh, well, Japan has gun control, Australia has gun control, and look at them and blah blah blah. Listen, man, let's get to the fact that Japan is in a homogenous country, and California, the U.S. is a heterogeneous country, and the culture is different. How everything was built is different. You can't relate the two. You can't say, oh, it worked for Japan, so it'll work for us. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but it wouldn't make any sense. So, you know, Australia, different culture. I mean, you can't just do that. You can't just throw everybody in the pot together. You can't throw all these countries in the pot together and say, oh, we're the same. We do the same thing they're doing. Nope, it don't work like that. Anyway, I'm gonna get right back at you. Get to this appointment and hit you on the way home.